Game take two.
The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to the 15th episode of the SCU Show. I'm your host, SCU. And I have to start off tonight's show by congratulating the Miami Dolphins because they've already clinched the third place in the AFC East. Congratulations to the Dolphins. And how did they do this? Well, it all started when Ryan Tannehill partially tore his ACL in a non-contact injury during training camp. And now then their question was, who are they going to sign next? Who is their next quarterback? And they go ahead and they sign Jay Cutler to a 1-year, $10 million deal. Congratulations, Miami. You blew it big time. You had the chance to sign Colin Kaepernick, who's a much better quarterback, by the way. No matter what people think about him, he's a better quarterback than Jay Cutler by far. He would have done much better in Miami, despite the whole politics thing, which we don't go into here on this show, because this is a sports show and politics are a load of crap for the most part. He would have won the Dolphins games. He would have kept them in second place. With Jay Cutler, they're finishing behind Buffalo. And I said this, I wrote an article about this, and Sean Garner got mad at me for this. I said that the Patriots would win the AFC East by at least 10 games. Yeah, maybe that wasn't so true. They'll win the AFC East by 8 games. I do see the Buffalo Bills finishing 8-8 with the team they have. The Dolphins will finish best. I mean, at best, 6-10. So congratulations to the Dolphins. You blew it. Way to go. Better luck next year. What can I tell? That's all I can say on that. Now I want to get to the real topic of the night. Everyone likes to say that the Raiders, I gotta say it like that, my Chris Berman voice, that the Raiders are the biggest threats to the New England Patriots in the AFC. They think the Raiders could beat the Patriots in the AFC title game. And all this, and I'm just thinking, how? There is a team better than the Raiders, that could beat. They're not going to beat the Patriots in the playoffs. They're not going to beat in the title game. New England's going 16-0. They're winning the Super Bowl. That's already a given. But there is a team better than Oakland that has a better chance at giving the Patriots more trouble than the Raiders. And that team, ladies and gentlemen, is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not a fan of the Steelers. I'm a Cowboys fan, but from what I've seen with the Steelers, that is a really good team right there. That is an awesome team the Pittsburgh Steelers have, especially on the offensive side of the ball. You have Big Ben. If this is his last year, he's going to go out with a bang for sure with the team he has. Running backs, Le'Veon Bell. Yeah, he's holding out right now, but he'll be there week 1. You also have James Conner, rookie out of Pitt. Love what he's done. I cannot wait to see him on the field in the regular season. It's going to be awesome. And then you have the wide receivers. That's the biggest part of the Steelers' success. That wide receiving core is amazing for the Steelers. Just absolutely amazing. They have Martavis Bryant. He's coming back. Who knows what will happen with him? Antonio Brown, Jesse James, I believe his name is, Eli Rogers. There's just so many receivers on the Juju Schutzer, the new guy from USC. Amazing receivers all across the board for the Steelers. It's awesome. They have a lot of talent on that offense. The defense is a little iffy, but they definitely have a better defense than the Raiders. All the Raiders have is Khalil Mack and I don't even know who else. That's why I don't see the Raiders beating the Patriots, giving them that much of a threat. The Steelers, though, they could do that because that offense and their defense is slightly better than Oakland's. Now, granted, like I said, they're not going to beat the Patriots. Nobody's going to beat the Patriots this year. But the Steelers have a better chance than the Raiders do. They definitely do. They have. I know I can name a few. Artie Burns is one guy on the Steelers secondary that I've seen that I'm just very impressed with. That's one guy that Tom Brady should avoid looking to throw toward when the Steelers do meet the Patriots this season, and when they do meet in the AFC title game too. Just avoid him at all costs as often as you can. It'd be better for you. And then there's the story, like I said, Big Ben retiring. This is a big story. Big Ben has confirmed that he may retire at the end of the year. And Steelers fans are worried. If I was a Steelers fan, I wouldn't be too worried. Because you have a guy right here, right now, on your team that can lead you into the playoffs the next at least 3-4 years after Ben retires. His name is Joshua Dobbs. And not a lot of people know about him, but he was a pretty good quarterback in Tennessee. Very good quarterback in Tennessee, mind you. Very clutch, very talented. Running ability is good. I said this in an article I wrote, how running quarterbacks are the way of the future. Josh Dobbs is one of those quarterbacks. He will build the future of the NFL, but his running style as well as his throwing style. Obviously, it's not Landry Jones. Let's get that straight. Landry Jones is leading a team to the playoffs anytime soon in his career. No, it's not going to happen. So that's why I'm big on Joshua Dobbs leading the Steelers after Big Ben retires, whether it be next year, next offseason, or the one after, or whatever it may be. But I want to go back for a second. I want to sidetrack again back to the Cutler story. They sent Jay Cutler. And a lot of my people and a lot of people are saying, Jay Cutler's too great because, it's Adam Gase's system. So what? His career high was 21 touchdowns with Adam Gase. I can name 8 guys that could throw 21 touchdowns in 8 games. Breeze, Brady, Wilson, Rodgers, Big Ben, Matt Ryan. I even throw Eli Manning and Dak Prescott in there because of the weapons they have. I don't want to hear anything about that. I found it a crackpot theory that everyone's saying that Cutler's going to be good in Miami just because he's under Gase's system. No, that's not going to happen. That's ridiculous. And then you can make the argument that he has all these good receivers, Jarvis Landry and Devontae Parker and Leonte Carroo. Yeah, but he also had a good receiver in Alshon Jeffrey in Chicago and couldn't do anything with that. Nothing. So what makes you think that he's going to do something with these guys? I don't think that. I don't see it happening. So for everybody that thinks Cutler's going to do good, you might want to have a reality check or whatever it may be, because it's not going to happen. It's going to be, like I said earlier, the Patriots are going to win the AFC East now by 8 games. And the Bills will finish in second. Miami's finished at best, 6-10 on the season. That's bad. I mean, that's pretty generous if you ask me. Because I could easily see the team going 5-11, 4-12 with Cutler as the quarterback. So Dolphins fans should be grateful, not that they have Cutler, but that they only have him for a year instead of 3-4 years down the line where he's still their quarterback. He should be grateful. The Dolphins fans should be happy about that. Take this year as an L, and then wait for next year. That's all you can do now with Brian Tannehill off of the year with a partially torn ACL. So to everybody listening to this podcast, I want to thank you for listening. To everybody listening on iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, Google Play, or W2Mnet.com. Thank you for listening. We actually started recording earlier due to technical difficulty. We had to restart the show. That's okay. The show like they always say, the show must go on. So thank you for listening. We are in the second episode of our month full of NFL talk, nothing but. And coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, we actually have a special guest coming on this show. The editor of the Still, Still Curtain, the Pittsburgh Steelers fan-sided blog, Noah Strackbein, will join us next. SCU Show.
Hello to all you Arena League football fans out there. I want to personally welcome you to join us, AFL Fan Zone, every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for a weekly recap of all things AFL. You got stuff to do on the weekends, which means you probably don't have time to sit down and watch every single game every week. That's where AFL Fan Zone comes in. Not only do we break down the week, but we provide you with everything you need to stay up to date with the AFL, including Players of the Week, Power Rankings, and the weekly standings. Best part is, the recap is fully interactive between the viewers and the host. Just search AFL Fan Zone on YouTube and you can find all of our archived videos, including game previews, recaps, and weekly updates. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and at our website at www.aflfanzone.com. AFL Fan Zone, your internet home for the best AFL fans.
Hi, I'm Donovan James, and welcome to the Don James High School Football Report, everybody, where we discuss and debate the hottest prep and college football recruiting topics in the country every week. only here on NGSC Sports, 9:30 Eastern. For more, follow me on Twitter at Don James Sports.
It's game time, boys, and we know football. Football the Max is the podcast for you if you want in-depth analysis over the NFL and college football. We preview all the action coming your way over the weekend. And we break down all the big action after it's happened. Plus, we tackle all the big news topics and discuss everything when it comes to the gridiron. So come check out Football to the Max every Tuesday morning and Friday morning on the W2M Network.
Are you an arena football fan looking for the latest news involving your team? Inside the Arena has you covered. Check us out for the latest news around both the Arena Football League and the Chinese Arena Football League. Read all of our stellar articles at InsideTheArena.org. Also, follow us on Twitter at Inside_Arena and like us on Facebook at Facebook.com/InsideTheArena.
Welcome back, everybody, to the SCU Show. I'm your host, SCU. Now joining us is the editor of the Still Curtain, the Pittsburgh Steelers fan-sided blog, Noah Strackbein. How do you say it, how do you say it again?
Noah Strackbein.
Noah Strackbein. There we are. How are you doing tonight, Mr. Strackbein?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing awesome. Glad to talk some Steelers football on the show. So I want to start off with talking about this. I just talked about this on my show. I feel like the Steelers are the biggest threat in the AFC to New England. Everyone likes to say that the Raiders are, but I don't see much of a defense from them. Do you feel like your Pittsburgh Steelers are the biggest threat to New England? Do you feel like there's another team in the AFC that can give the Patriots a bigger threat?
No, I'd have to say it's the Steelers. Right behind them would be Oakland, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But like you said, their defense is a mess. I mean, it has some great parts. Obviously, Khalil Mack is nice, but their secondary needs work. Their offensive front is hit or miss sometimes, and you really look at it like that, and you have to say that Pittsburgh is a complete team. I mean, they have a young defense, but the way that the strides that they have made this offseason have put them right towards the top, if not, the top 10 at least. And Oakland's not really there. They're probably right around average. So I'd say if you look at overall, Pittsburgh's way more of a complete team. Obviously, New England is the most complete team in the AFC, probably in the NFL outside of Dallas. And you need someone that could compete with them on both ends because you have to be able to stop Tom Brady but outscore him at the same time. We all know that's not easy. So at the end of the day, you need a complete team, and that's where Pittsburgh ranks higher than just about anybody else.
I agree with you for the most part, but then you brought up how Dallas is probably the most complete team. I'm a Cowboys fan, so I don't know about that defense question. I'm questioning my team's defense, but anyway, go stick with the Steelers talk here. There's talk going around. Even Big Ben has said he doesn't know if he'll play after next year, and I feel like Joshua Dobbs, the new guy in Pittsburgh, their new quarterback out of Tennessee, amazing guy. I like his running ability, I like his passing ability. I feel like he's the next quarterback for Pittsburgh. Because obviously he's not Landry Jones. Landry Jones has shown he's not good enough to be a starting quarterback. Do you know anything about Josh Dobbs, first of all?
Oh, yeah, a ton. I've watched him all throughout college. I used to cover Notre Dame for a while, so I watched him a lot, yeah.
So do you feel like Dobbs could be the next guy in Pittsburgh after Ben retires? Do you feel like maybe it could be one of the guys coming up in this year's draft, like Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen at UCLA, or maybe Josh Allen at Wyoming?
That's a tough one. Dobbs needs a lot of work, so it really depends on when Roethlisberger decides to call it quits. Likely it's going to be after this season. I just brought up, CTE and taking into consideration his kids and things like that. So if you look at it like that, you got to figure he came back this year just to win a Super Bowl. Whether he gets one or not, it's not really going to be make an impact in his decision. So he's likely just going to call it quits and retire after the 2017 season. Dobbs probably isn't going to be ready at that point. I'm not saying that they'll draft someone else, but you have to work on him mentally and physically because his accuracy is not always there. But he also makes not dumb decisions, but he still has to work on his decision making. I'm not saying that they're going to draft somebody else. What they'll likely do is sign someone. If need be, they'll sign a veteran. Mike Tomlin knows this team is Super Bowl ready, and Landry Jones isn't going to lead him to one if he needs to start. No. So they'll go out and pick somebody up if they have to.
Yeah, I agree with that there. Landry Jones not leading his team to a Super Bowl. Noah Strackbein, editor of the Still Curtain, joining us here on the SCU Show. There is a hell of a lot of talent, as I just said on before you came on, especially in the wide receiving core. You got Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant just returned. You had Jesse James, I believe his name was. Eli Rogers, a lot of great receivers, and then they got a new guy at USC, Juju Schutzer. I believe I'm saying his name right. Which of these receivers do you feel might be the man left out on the 53-man roster?
Probably Sammy Coates. He's injured. He's not playing right now. He really hasn't done what he was expected to do over the last 2 years. He's dealt with a lot of injuries. And at the end of the day, you have guys breaking out like Justin Hunter, who seems to be trying to revive his career. You have Kobe Hamilton, who's fighting for a spot. Darius Hayward-Bay, who's a veteran and who has proven himself in Pittsburgh already. And then you have the obvious ones, Juju Smith, Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant returning, and then Eli Rogers. All four of them guaranteed a spot. And then it really comes down to the fifth and sixth guy, and likely it's going to be Darius Hayward-Bay for one of them and Justin Hunter for the other one. So Sammy Coates will be the guy left out.
Wow. I was liking what's out from Sammy Coates, but I guess it's unfortunate that he's injured, because he probably, if he was healthy, I'm sure he could have done good things in the regular season. Now we can switch. I want to talk about the running back position. Le'Veon Bell, I don't know if he's current. Last night I checked, he is still holding out a training camp, but they do have another running back in James Conner, who they just drafted out of Pitt. I like what he's doing. So are you worried at all about the Bell holdout?
Yes and no. You're not, because he's out there training. He's doing everything he needs to do in Florida. He's probably going to show up to at least a preseason game by the time it's all over. And you already know that he's game ready. He could come in and do it all right off the bat. He doesn't really need to be at training camp and, hitting anybody and things like that. So at that aspect, you're fine. But you look at it long term and you look at it in team chemistry, and you really want him there. He's a leader. He's obviously a superstar. He's probably the best player on the team, and you want him to be at practice, especially right now when guys are coming out like James Conner. He could be there to train him and to teach him and, help him, pursue a career in other places if Le'Veon wants to stay there, or, eventually take over the role. That's what people like that do. That's what Big Ben's doing to Josh Dobbs. But now he's not there. You have rookies stepping up, and it's kind of ruining the team chemistry. So at that aspect, no, you're not happy about it.
Well, sure, not happy about it. But do you feel like if Conner, let's say Le'Veon Bell misses week 1, do you feel Conner could do well for the Steelers going into the regular season?
Yeah, definitely. I have real high hopes for James Conner, and I think a lot of other people do too. If worst case scenario, Le'Veon Bell doesn't sign with the Steelers next year, he ends up somewhere else, I truly believe James Conner would be able to step in and be a superstar right off the bat. If he has to start week 1 or play week 1, however, whatever goes down, he's going to put up big numbers. And at that point, you really have to start wondering, okay, well, Le'Veon's not here. James Conner's performing. That could cause a lot of controversy, in the running back battle.
Yeah, it definitely could, especially if Conner impresses during the preseason. Noah Strackbein, editor of the Still Curtain, joining us. And this is going to sound absolutely nuts. We're sticking with the AFC North here. The Browns draft, they had a very good draft. I was very surprised with what they did in their draft. They had drafted Jabril Peppers, David Njoku. They had a couple of guys that I felt that could be very impressive. Corey Coleman's still on that team. So I was telling somebody, I could see, because the Baltimore, they have no, Flacco could miss some time. And Cincinnati has Andy Dalton, they have to move on from Dalton at this point. I've said that the Browns could have finished second in the division. How crazy of a take is that?
Oh, that's pretty crazy. The Browns, they got a lot going for them, I guess, but you got Brock Osweiler as your starting quarterback. You really got no one else outside of there. I don't know, man. That's a hot take for you. That's definitely a good one.
Yeah, when I said this, I had high hopes that Cody Kessler would start, not Brock Osweiler, because I've always thought Brock Osweiler was overrated. He got $72 million from Houston because C.J. Anderson beat the Patriots in the snow. That's why I never liked Brock Osweiler. Still don't.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Yeah, so I ask everybody that comes on the show for the remainder of this month, I'm going to ask you, who do you have playing in Super Bowl 52, and who is your Super Bowl 52 champion?
Oof. I gotta say the Steelers. I'd get way too much hate mail if I didn't, but I actually do truly believe that they'll get there. I think that they have what it takes. In the NFC, I think it's going to be the Giants or the Packers, but I kind of have my luck on Aaron Rodgers in a Pittsburgh versus Green Bay rematch. And then the Steelers obviously going to take it. They got it. Big Ben's going out on top. He's going to leave just like the bus, and all the Steelers fans are going to be happy about
it. Big Ben retiring with a Super Bowl. That would be something, and I'm definitely with you there. Packers, Giants are my favorite two in the NFC. Noah Strackbein, editor of The Still Curtain. Check it out, thestillcurtain.com, or on fansided.com. Thank you for joining us, and good luck to the Steelers this year.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
You got it, man. All right, we'll be right back. This is the SCU Show.
Hello to all you Arena League football fans out there. I want to personally welcome you to join us, AFL Fan Zone, every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for a weekly recap of all things AFL. You got stuff to do on the weekends, which means you probably don't have time to sit down and watch every single game every week. That's where AFL Fan Zone comes in. Not only do we break down the week, but we provide you with everything you need to stay up to date with the AFL, including Players of the Week, Power Rankings, and the weekly standings. Best part is, the recap is fully interactive between the viewers and the host. Just search AFL Fan Zone on YouTube and you can find all of our archived videos, including game previews, recaps, and weekly updates. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and at our website at www.aflfanzone.com. AFL Fan Zone, your internet home for the best AFL fans.
Hi, I'm Donovan James, and welcome to the Don James High School Football Report, everybody, where we discuss and debate the hottest prep and college football recruiting topics in the country every week. Only here on NGSC Sports, 9:30 Eastern. For more, follow me on Twitter at Don James Sports.
It's game time, boys, and we know football. Football the Max is the podcast for you if you want in-depth analysis over the NFL and college football. We preview all the action coming your way over the weekend. And we break down all the big action after it's happened. Plus, we tackle all the big news topics and discuss everything when it comes to the gridiron. So come check out Football to the Max every Tuesday morning and Friday morning on the W2M network.
Are you an arena football fan looking for the latest news involving your team? Inside the Arena has you covered. Check us out for the latest news around both the Arena Football League and the Chinese Arena Football League. Read all of our stellar articles at InsideTheArena.org. Also, follow us on Twitter at Inside_Arena and like us on Facebook at Facebook.com/InsideTheArena.
Welcome back, everybody, to the SCU Show. I'm your host, SCU. I want to thank once again Noah Strackbein, editor of The Still Curtain, not The Steel Curtain, The Still Curtain. Got a creative on Fansided. That's why I bring people on from Fansided, because I like what Fansided has done over the past 10 years. So I always go if you know me, I aim for the best. So I only really reach out to the site experts for these sites. When I have a topic, I want to bring on the site expert for a Fansided site, whatever it may be. And having Noah Strackbein was awesome. Site expert for the Still Curtain. It's like last week I had James Yarko, site expert and editor for the Pewter Plank. That's why I always aim high. Next week, I tried to have on Freddie Boston, the editor for the Lambeau Avenue, I believe it's called. For Lombardi Avenue, that's what it's called, Lombardi Avenue, the Packers Fansided blog, but unfortunately he couldn't make it, so I'll have one of his writers on next week. We will talk some Packers, and it's going to be awesome. Another hot take coming your way next week on the SCU Show, only on iTunes, Spreaker, I cannot talk tonight, Spreaker, Stitcher, and W2Net.com. But for now, we stick to my Cowboys. The defense is very confusing. I feel like they're going to finish a 6-10 record, even though I feel they will start 3-1. The Giants went 3 in a row, and that's it. One win in the final 11 games, 12 games. But sticking to the Cowboys here, I heard Eric Watkins, my producer for the night, and Sean Garmer, my usual producer. They do Football for the Max here on W2Net.com. I heard them both talking about the Zeke suspension. And yes, Chris Carter went on the herd with Colin Cowherd, and he said a source told him he would be surprised if Zeke was not suspended by today. The day for me is over. For you, it depends on time you're listening to this podcast tomorrow. Today's over. And Zeke is not suspended. But the word is that he will be suspended from what I heard. I'm not going off of Chris Carter. I'm going off what I heard. 2 games. For Cowboys fans, let's not freak out. It's 2 games. We can live without Zeke for 2 games, okay? We'll be fine. We're going to go 1-1. That's okay. It does not matter. Because I can tell you now, the Cowboys are not beating the Giants week 1. First of all, the Giants are the only team that beat Dak Prescott last year. They have his number going into this year. Definitely have his number going into this year. And then you add on that they added on a talented tight end in Evan Ingram, another talented wide receiver in Brandon Marshall. Their defense is still awesome. It's going to be very tough for the Cowboys to beat the Giants week 1. So I'm looking at an L. Then you go to week 2, they're playing in Denver. The Broncos don't know who their quarterback is. How are they going to know how to beat the Cowboys offense? Not happening. So if that's it right there, Zeke goes 2 games, missed 2 games, or go 1-1. And even if Zeke goes 4 to 6 games, so what? We have 2 running backs on the roster that can rush for 1,000 yards. Darren McFadden already did it the year we lost Romo and had to start Brandon Whedon and Kellen Moore and Matt Kessel. The 4-12 season after a 2-0 start. Darren McFadden rushed for 1,089 yards. If you don't think he can't do it again, you're crazy. He can definitely do it again. And Alfred Morris, I watched bits and pieces of the Hall of Fame game. Very impressive in that game, too. I look forward to seeing him continue to do it. And I'm not worried about – Zeke is very talented, sure. Very talented. That was the steal of the draft in 2016 with the 4th overall pick for Jerry Jones. But Dak is the centerpiece to the team. Dak can run just as good as Zeke can, so I'm not too worried about it. But it would be nice to not see him miss too much time. But I see Zeke back on the field sooner than later. But either way, Cowboys 6-10. USA Today had him 11-5. Where is that coming from? We played a very, very... And I said this last year, too. Because last year we also faced a very tough schedule. And I said, we're going to do so well, even with Romo. It would have been with Dak, whoever it might have been with. I said we weren't going to do good. And I'm saying it again this year. We're not going to do good. We start with the Giants as a loss. Beat the Broncos, beat the Cardinals, beat the Rams. By October 1st, we're 3-1. On top of the world. And I'll say this again October 3rd when I record the SCU show that week. Calm down. Because I'm saying it now. We're going to start 3-1, but that's going to be it. Because then you got the Packers and the Niners. Okay, the Niners win. You got the Packers, the Redskins, the Chiefs, the Falcons, the Eagles, the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Seahawks. You're going to sit here and tell me that's not a tough schedule? That is a very tough schedule. It's going to be a rough season for Cowboys fans, including me. Not looking forward to it. But it's going to be fun, though. We'll sit back and relax and enjoy the ride. Just like I hope you've sat back, relaxed, and enjoyed this episode of the SCU Show. I know it's very short. I apologize for that. But as Sean always tells me, there's always room for improvement. So I want to thank Noah Strackbein for joining us from The Steel Curtain. Go check them out, thesteelcurtain.com. I want to thank you for listening to this podcast, wherever you may have been listening. And I want to thank tonight my co-host of This Week in the AFL, Eric Watkins, for producing this podcast in Sean Garmer's place. So until next week, catch This Week in the AFL probably Friday morning. And we'll be back here next week. This is the SCU Show.
The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.